One of the areas where we are building new power plants is in the area where there's desert, where there's lots of sunshine. And you've been an advocate for the Desert Protection Act, which you championed in 1994 and want to expand now. And that has caused some environmentalists and people who want to build large solar plants in the desert to say some interesting intra-family feuds among people who are usually on the same side. So how do you think we can build new solar while protect the environment in the desert?
Well, let me tell you what happened. I remember the desert when you drive along Route 66 or Highway 40, and what you would see are old mattresses and car hulks and, excuse me, it was kind of a disaster. You don't see that anymore. The desert is wonderful. It's not like the Sahara. We have flora and fauna and desert tortoises and bighorn sheep and Indian petroglyphs. And so I decided that we were going to try to see that the best parts of it were saved. We created Joshua Tree National Park, Death Valley National Park, and the Mojave Preserve. South directly of the preserve, in order to protect it, we began to buy some in-holdings from a private company that had them. And one gentleman gave $30 million to this.
In-holdings being land inside?
Being land, about 600,000 acres total to preserve and conserve. And so one gentleman gave the $30 million, and I think we raised from the federal government $18 million, and we bought this land with the understanding that it would be in conservation. Well, one day, somebody comes into my office and said, did you know that there are all these solar plants planned for the areas that have been purchased for conservation? And I said, you've got to be kidding. And so I trot down there and meet with a number of the CEOs, and I see what they were intending to do. I see an 8-by-8 mile beautiful valley that was all going to be dug out with gravel, with a solar plant, 15 square miles, and it went on like that. So we put together a monument that would just protect the most pristine areas that have been undisturbed of this land. There is plenty of land in the desert that is disturbed, that can be used, and I think all of these companies are essentially finding other places to build now where there is no real environmental challenge to things that are endangered, like desert tortoises.
Land that's already impacted. I think they're
Exactly.
Land that already has some human activity.
Exactly. We call it disturbed land and private land.
Then there's the question of distribution. I mean, getting the energy from where it's generated to the demand centers where the people are often involves going across somebody's ranch land, somebody's valued ecosystem, and there's some real messy fights there about people who are progressive saying we need renewable energy, and yes, we might need to go across some places that are pretty.
Well, the transmission lines are another story, and there are transmission lines which come through there, at least 2 big ones. And
you can live with those?
So I think, oh yeah, yes, they're there, and I think we can live with them.
Can you live with new ones?
Well, it depends on where they go.